The real estate market, it's in unprecedented times, and staying up to date with the current trends is more important than ever, and what stayed the same or what's changed for home buyers. So we're going to welcome in Cindy Tomasetti, always a pleasure, a licensed broker associate from Engel and Volkers, and one of our Home Connect TV real estate experts. Great to be with you again, Cindy.
Always good to be here.
So the big question is, we've turned the corner from the pandemic. All right, now that's had a lasting effect on what buyers want. Have those trends stayed in place?
You know, to a very large extent, they have. Necessity is the mother of invention. So people were spending more time in their homes, so they took better use of the spaces they had. They demanded that every room in that house work for them and be functional. So we do see this functional decor coming out of this pandemic.
Right, so functional decor, that's new terminology for me. And I know the Prangleys during the pandemic, my wife is still set up in the office. She turned her room into an office. I worked at home a lot, so that makes sense. So is that related? So what do we mean by functional decor?
That's absolutely what we're talking about. The headline in the trade said less beds in bedrooms. So those rooms like, for example, formal dining rooms. I don't see people getting very excited about that when I have buyers. You know, that's kind of like the Museum of Expensive Furniture. They look at that formal dining room and they go, what can I utilize this space for? I was in a home yesterday that was a photographer's full natural light studio. And across the hall, the guest room was not a guest room, it was an office. So, you know, I know a lawyer that used to travel all over the country giving depositions. Now there's a designated room in that house to give those Zoom depositions.
Right.
So they've changed it.
That makes perfect sense. So converting those rooms, using that space to its fullest. So functional decor. And what about the dining room? We see the dining room, but what about other areas?
Sure. So you know what used to be guest rooms with the less beds, maybe you have a fold-out couch or a Murphy bed, so now you have room for a desk. Or you can put a full mirror on one wall. That can be a ballet studio. You could use it for martial arts, for other workout. Could still be a guest room with that pull-out couch, but now it's room for something else. Bathrooms, this is a big trend I see, are these big lighted mirrors where you don't have to waste room for the light fixtures. The lights are actually in the cabinet, and the cabinet opens up and you can get all your products, if you're not a natural beauty like you are, Mike, off the counter and into the cabinet. You don't have those teeny little medicine cabinets anymore that weren't very functional.
That's so interesting. Okay. And then how about, does this extend to furniture?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we would hope that this would open up and it might have storage in it. You know, I see a lot of people building benches in kitchens that they can lift up those benches and store stuff in.
Yes, we do have one of those.
See?
It does help.
Very functional. But it doesn't have to be a brand new piece. I have a trunk in my house that was made in the late 1800s that was my grandmother's wedding chest. And you know what? It's not just a coffee table. It opens up and we store all our hiking boots and running shoes that would otherwise congregate in front of the front door. So it's beautiful and it's functional.
Interesting. So many good things to think about. And this is helping the whole process move forward. And in your experience, it's working really well for folks.
It seems to be.
Okay. Well, thanks. And if anybody has any questions, of course, you can help them with the functional decor and all of your questions, really. So thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
All right. And of course, check out Home Connect TV. It's on 7 days a week with hundreds of homes for sale on the First Coast.